There was a globe in the room. The ornate rooster on top stretched his wings out over the world, as if protecting it.
Interesting. This is the year of the rooster. Very fitting. Fitting game to play in this year. You will get a notification every time Devon adds new information to his journal. Click anywhere to continue. Move your cursor to the top of the screen to make the journal appear and click to open it. After Captain Hendricks had welcomed me aboard the Herald, I was to follow Officer Ludlow for a tour of the ship before going to bed. Okay, so inventory is here too. So my journal, where he collects all the information he finds during his journey aboard the Herald. Journal has 3 sections. You can switch between them using the tabs on the right side. Devon has just added something to the encyclopedia section. Okay, so this one is tasks and notes. Encyclopedia contains background information about the world of Herald. Try to find all the entries by exploring the ship. Cool. Antiques. The Captain's Globe. The provinces and colonies of the Protectorate both cover Europe, Australia, lion's share of Asia and North America, and parts of the African coast. That is, if you believe the maps, cartographers are usually optimistic about some areas and are still contested. If a colony adapts sufficiently to Protectorate laws and customs, it can eventually aspire to the status of province, granting it a measure of independence and say in global affairs. Interesting, guys. A map of the Herald. It shows information about all locations that you have already visited. You can use the buttons at the bottom to switch between the ship's 4 decks. Click to continue. Wow, this ship has 4 decks. With the top deck, weather deck, twin deck, cargo hold, a large ship. Lots and lots of entries here, guys, in this encyclopedia. Yeah, I'm not going to read them out now. But, okay, I will read my own entry. That's me. Had to read that one. I'm Devon Ransberg, and this journal is mine. I was born in Eastern Colonies, adopted by a family of merchants and raised in the Protectorate. I always wanted to know why I was given up for adoption, so I left the capital to find answers. Okay, we read about the captain too, guys. The nice captain. Henriques was captain of HLV Herald, and he believed it to be of the utmost importance that he knew everything that happened aboard the ship. Born in Amsterdam as a son of craftsmen, he was an avid collector of exotic weaponry, and kept an impressive assortment of weapons in the display cabinet inside his cabin. Okay, that's all we read for now. I'm sure there are a lot more entries in the encyclopedia.
Looking at the display cabinet, I wondered what his collection of exotic and antique weapons said about the captain's character.
It's hard to tell. New entry. One new entry. Antiques. Okay, this game does have a lot of reading, guys. Early expeditions into numerous jungles of the eastern colonies led to violent conflicts with the local population, but the officers were furious to read reports of their well-trained and supplied soldiers losing to half-naked cannibals. It would seem that the musty jungles favored those with nimble hands and sharp blades over those with tight uniforms and heavy weaponry. Threatening to burn the entire jungle, officials from both sides opted instead to settle their disputes by exchanging precious gifts, like engraved swords and guns. Interesting. Okay, that's enough.
The captain's newspaper lay open on his desk. Colony unrest, it said. The rest was too difficult to read from a distance.
Colony unrest.
The paper stand on the captain's desk was filled with letters stamped with a protectorate seal. Cornelis Hendricks seemed to be an important man. The captain's cabin was one of the few places on the ship with a heater. The crew didn't have such luxuries at all.
Is that a heater? Doesn't look like one. I'm preoccupied with this letter, Mr. Ransburg. Please meet Officer Ludlow outside for your tour. Okay. I think it's time to go, guys.
Looking at the display cabinet.
Okay, it's time to go. New Siberia. Siberia 3. It is in 3D, yes. I watched the trailer. I mean, 2 weeks ago, yes. And it is in 3D. Very nice graphics. I think it's similar to this kind of 3D. You don't walk in first person, you are in third person, like this game.
Oh, well, I would assume he's reading your letter right now, Mr. Morton.
No, he is not.
I sincerely hope you're joking.
No, on the contrary, sir. At sea, the captain makes his own rules. As far as I can tell, our captain is king on the Herald, sir. The crew, his loyal subjects.
Officer, there are several reasons why the people got rid of the king back in the day. This is precisely the sort of thing that led us to abolish the monarchy. I'm going to have a word with Captain Hendricks now. Please carry on.
I really like the characters' portraits, guys. Their pictures. They really add to the conversations. Even though there's no lip syncing here, but doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. I still like it a lot. Ludlow seems to have big mouth. Yes, I don't like him.
The captain's cabin was strictly off limits without an invitation from the captain himself.
Ah. We need to get on his good side.
Not one, but 2 large ornate compasses stood on the poop deck near the ship's wheel. Protectorate design seems to favor perfect symmetry.
Yeah.
I was quite often tempted to take over the wheel and sail us on a random course towards adventure, but that wouldn't have been a smart move.
Maybe I will get the chance. I will become captain someday, guys. Ahmad Shaban. The captain may seem a bit gruff sometimes, but he's a good man. Cares about his crew. I've sailed under Captain Hendricks for a few years now. 3, I think. Or was it 4? Arthur Foss? Will you miss it? The capital, I mean. It's going to be a long time before we'll see those blue roofs again. I'm going to stay on deck until the city is out of sight. Okay, so it looks like only the important characters in this game have voice acting. These small characters, they do not have those voices. Only the text. Aaron Ludlow. You the big mouth.
That, Devon, was Senator Lewis Morton.
So, I know who that is.
Did you see the look on his face when I told him the captain opened his letter? Pure agony.
Well, I thought that what Ludlow had done was inappropriate. I remained silent. I was amused by what had happened. We might still need him. I don't want to get on his bad side here, guys. So I guess I'm amused.
It would be fun if we could see what's happening inside the captain's quarters right now.
That is the truth. I'm curious.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
People have a hard time adjusting to life outside the capital. On the open sea, the rules tend to change, but customs don't change with them. Mr. Morton is a prime example of that, and you will probably experience the same. The trick, though, is to accept change. It's something that people like Morton will never understand. But you might.
Well, I confirmed that I wanted change. Could accept change. I didn't like change either.
What makes you believe I will?
Yes.
There's a reason I picked you from the lot. I rarely choose anybody who is unfit for a life at sea.
Oh, so you were the one who picked me in the first place, huh? Okay.
Now for your tour.
Interesting.
Welcome aboard His Lordship's vessel, Herald.
Okay.
A Cromwellian-class Protectorate clipper launched in 1851. As one of the fastest sailing ships in the mercantile fleet, she can reach a top speed of 18 knots. During her short life, she has already set multiple records sailing to the colonies and back along the famous Indigo route.
I asked Ludlow what records the Herald had broken.
What records did she break?
Yeah, he seems to be the know-it-all here, guys. He is the second human encyclopedia.
Several speed records, of which the most important one was the race against the DeWitt-class clipper HLV Crowing. The Herald beat her by 3 days on a return voyage from the colonies to the capital.
I feel like he likes showing off, so I am going to give him the chance. Yes, yeah, be a show-off.
She set a record time of 78 days, 5 hours, and 16 minutes. Now let's move on to the deckhouse.
Okay, let's get on the tour. Who are you? Kwang Su. This is a Chinese sailor, guys. Let's talk to him. You think holding up the sloop would be an easy task, but it looks like you'll be wrong. He does look Chinese. Daniel, a bit fast. No, not that fast. I'm sure we'll manage eventually. Okay, I will get back to you.
The Cromwellian-class ship type is named after one of the Protectorate's founding fathers, Oliver Cromwell. These ships are merchant clippers, built with trade in mind. Making money is their sole purpose. The Herald is an indigo clipper, which means she mainly takes shipments of indigo powder to the Protectorate homeland.
Indigo powder, what is that? What kind of powder? Gunpowder? Or some kind of herbs?
With this powder, we make the paint that coats the hulls of our ships, and the dye that gives the fabric of our clothes its bright blue hue.
Ah, okay, that explains it. I told Ludlow that I didn't like the color blue. Didn't want to interrupt Ludlow, so I listened silently. I asked Ludlow about the importance of the trade. Okay, I'll let him continue. He's enjoying himself.
You've lived in the capital, Devon. Never noticed the rooftops of its buildings or the clothes of its people?
No.
Everything has been colored blue there.
Really?
The color blue touches on much that the Protectorate holds dear. And indigo is made from a plant that produces the only known blue dye that withstands heavy wear. Until anybody finds a cheaper substitute, the indigo trade remains an invaluable part of our economy.
I was impressed by that little story. I am impressed. I'm not bored, guys. I'm impressed.
I never really thought about blue dye in that way. Sounds like a huge undertaking.
It is, but that's not without reason. After all, the Protectorate is built upon free market principles that foster progress through supply and demand. Its people get paid an equal share for the work they do, and with this money they are free to do with as they wish. I am not fond of life on shore, but even I can see that the system works. For most people, at least. Now, onto the bow of the ship.
Okay, the tour continues. Are we going to go to all 4 levels of the ship, guys? This is going to take 1 hour, at least.